Good afternoon, all. Hope you all are doing good. Today, this is your sixth class, commerce first year. The last five classes, we have learned journal entries, which is expected for 2 marks, personal ledger, which is expected for 5 marks, subsidiary books, which is expected for another 5 marks, and still more, because till now, in subsidiary books, we have covered purchase book, sales book, purchase returns book, and sales returns. And also, last one, yesterday we did journal proper opening entry, isn't it? We have few more subsidiary books, out of which a very, very substantial, very, very important subsidiary book we are going to discuss today. Okay. Now, the one which I am talking about is called as a cash book. It is called as a cash book. The name itself denotes, no? See, in purchase book, what were we recording? We were recording purchase of goods. Purchase of goods and only purchase on credit. Similarly, in sales book, we were recording only sales done on credit basis, right? What if purchase is done on cash? What if sales is made on cash? What if we are paying salary? What if we are paying rent, advertisement expenses? What if we are receiving commission? We are receiving interest. Okay, what if we are receiving payment from our customers? All those will be recorded in a book called cash book, right? Why we deal this separately is because this is not similar to all these books. All these books are purely a substitution of journal. Purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book. They are sub-journals. They are substitutes of journal. Of course, cash book is also a substitute of journal as well as a ledger. So cash book is called as, very important, remember this, cash book is both a journal and a ledger. Cash book is both a journal and a ledger. After we prepare purchase book, no, we have to prepare purchase ledger. We have to prepare purchase account. Similarly, after preparing sales book, we have to prepare sales ledger, that is sales account. But after preparing cash book, we don't have to prepare cash account. I repeat, do we prepare cash account after preparing cash book? The answer is a big no. We don't prepare cash account because cash book is the journal. It is also a ledger. Cash book is serving the purpose of both prime entry and final entry. Original entry and final entry. It is both a journal and a ledger. Okay, so that we are going to learn today. As I said, again I repeat, by the word itself you can make out what are we going to record in cash book. Obviously, all the cash transactions. I repeat, when we are preparing a cash book, what are we recording? We are recording all the cash transactions. All the cash transactions are recorded in cash book. Okay. So we are learning cash book. We are learning cash book. What do we record in cash book? All cash transactions. All cash transactions. Do we record credit transaction here? Credit transactions, do we record in cash book? Then again, the answer is a big no. We don't record credit transactions in cash book. We'll record only cash transactions. What are cash transactions? Cash transactions can be classified into two. Cash transactions क्या हो सकते हैं? या तो पैसा बिजनेस में आता या तो पैसा बिजनेस से बाहर जाता. There are two possibilities. Either there is inflow of cash or there is outflow of cash. Right? What are we learning? We are learning cash book. What is a cash book? Cash book is both a journal and a ledger. What do we record in cash book? We record all cash transactions in a cash book. Cash transactions are classified into two types. One is either inflow or outflow. If it is an inflow, we call it as receipts. If it is an outflow, we call it as payments. All the inflow of cash, we call it as receipts of cash. All the outflow, we call it as payments. And receipts are recorded on the debit side of cash book. All the receipts are recorded on debit side. All the payments are recorded on the credit side. All the receipts are recorded. All the inflow of cash is debited. All the outflow of cash is credited. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Sir, ये तो real account का principle है. This is a rule of real account. Yes, you are correct. This is a rule of real account because cash is a property. Cash is an asset. So this falls under what category? Real account category. This falls under real account category. So we apply the same rule here. When cash is coming in the business, पैसे जब business में आ रहे, आप debit side लिखिए. पैसे जब business में से जा रहे, तब आप credit side लिखिए. Follow this simple funda. Cash book you can prepare at the tip of your fingers like this. Cash book records all cash transaction. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Cash business में आ रहा, write it on the debit side. Cash business में से जा रहा, write it on the credit side. Is it clear, all of you? Okay, then we'll move forward. The next thing is cash books are classified into three different types. We have three different types of cash book. Basing on the requirement of the business organization, they adopt either they prepare simple cash book or 2-column cash book or 3-column cash book. So as I said, they are classified into three. First one is a simple cash book. First one is a simple cash book. Second one is a 2-column cash book. 2-column cash book. And the third one is a 3-column cash book. Simple cash book, or it is also single column cash book. 2-column cash book is also double column cash book. 3-column cash book, which is very important, is also called as triple column cash book. This is a 10 marker in your exam. We get this for 10 marks. Okay. So I again repeat: simple column, double column, and triple column. Simple column cash book, double column cash book, triple column cash book. We get triple column cash book for 10 marks. But then, to understand 3-column cash book in a perfect manner, if you really want to have a command on preparing a 3-column cash book, it is always advisable that you should first learn simple column cash book. So we too follow the same. Let us do a single column cash book first. We'll do 1 or 2 problems for practice. Then we'll switch to 3-column cash book. This way, you'll get a good command on 3-column cash. Okay, go through whatever is there on the screen. You see, students, we record all cash transactions. Cash transactions are classified into inflow or outflow. Technically, we call them as receipts if it is an inflow, payment if it is an outflow. If the cash is coming in the business, we call it a receipt. If the cash is going out, we call it a payment. Receipts are recorded on the debit side, payments are recorded on the credit side. Okay, so how does a simple cash book look like? Here, especially in the first year, you'll be having so many different formats. Like journal, we write in a different way. Ledger, there is a format. Subsidiary books, there is a format. But don't you worry, cash book is prepared exactly like any other ledger. Because if you remember, I told you cash book is both a journal and a ledger. So cash book कैसे बनेगा? जैसे एक आम ledger बनता. सबसे पहले हम क्या सीखे थे? Ledger is divided into two parts. Ledger is divided into two parts. Left hand side and a right hand side. This is debit side. This is credit side. So as per the rule I said, if there is any inflow, पैसे आ रहे तो हम लोग लिखेंगे debit side, और पैसे अगर जा रहे तो we'll write it on the credit side. Format क्या है? The format is date, particulars, LF, amount. Date, particulars, LF, amount. LF stands for ledger folio. सर, हम लोग जब पर्सनल लेडजर किए थे तब तो हम यहाँ पे JF लिए थे सर. तब तो हम लोग यहाँ LF नहीं लिए थे, तब तो हम लोग JF लिए थे. हाँ बेटा, वो लेडजर था सर. That was only ledger. But as I said, cash book is primarily a journal and then a ledger. It is both a journal and a ledger. ठीक है? So in the first instance, it's a journal. So we take LF. If you remember the format of journal, in journal we take LF, no? Date, particulars, LF, debit amount, credit amount. That way we take LF while preparing cash book. Okay. So we'll do one thing. We'll take one question from your intermediate textbook. I'll give you the page number. Page number 149, question number 1. Page number, academy textbook, page number 149, question number 1. All of you please be ready. All of you please be ready with the textbook. Page number 149, question number 1. Okay. So what are we preparing? We are preparing a cash book. All the receipts on the debit side, all the payments on the credit side. If the firm is receiving cash, write it on the debit side. If the firm is making any payment, write it on the credit side. If any credit transaction is there, ignore it, because while preparing cash book, we do not take into consideration the credit transaction. So what is the first transaction you see? Page number 149, question number 1. Prepare single column cash book of Messrs. Manasvi Traders from the following particulars. 2019, January 1, commence business with 20,000. The firm commenced business with 20,000 and the proprietor is investing 20,000 in the business. From the business point of view, you see, business is receiving cash. Who is the one who is investing? It is a proprietor. Proprietor is also an outsider. As per business entity concept, even the proprietor is an outsider. He is investing cash in the business. The entire accounting is done from the perspective of business entity, not the businessman. So business is receiving cash, and we have a particular term for that, no? the amount invested by proprietor is called as, yes, it is capital. When 2019, on 2019, January 1, proprietor invested 20,000. We call it as capital. Hope this is understood. Business is receiving cash. Write it on the debit side. Next, sales. Third, it is given as sales. Of course, or obviously, what is sales? It is sale of goods. You are selling goods and you are receiving cash. When you are preparing cash book, you see from the perspective of cash only. Cash ara ya cash jara. You see that. Sales, you sold goods and you are receiving cash. If you want to generalize it, what will be the entry? Cash account debit to sales account. So cash is debited. We are receiving cash. Write it on the debit side. On third, sales. How much? Sales amount is how much? It is 5,000. It is 5,000. The next transaction is on fifth, paid into bank. Cash paid into bank. Tell me, is the business receiving cash or giving cash? Yeah, it is giving cash. Cash is going away from the business. So it has to be credited by bank. Who is the receiver? When you deposit it in the bank, it is the bank who is receiving. So by bank. How much? 2,000. Hope you all are following. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Next transaction. 10th, purchased machinery for 1,800. On 10, the firm purchased a machinery. So machinery will come, but cash is going out. We are preparing a cash book. We should see only how cash is affected. We should see only how cash is affected. So cash is going away. So again, write on the credit side. Buy machinery. Buy machinery. How much? 1,800. When? On 10. Right? Then, next. Advertisement expenses paid. On 14, we paid advertisement expenses. Again, expense means there will be outflow of cash. You are making a payment. So write it on the credit side. Buy advertisement. Buy advertisement. How much? It is 600. 600. So write it on the credit side. Then we have drawings. On 17, we have drawings. What does drawing means? Like capital is what? Capital is the amount invested by proprietor, and drawing is the amount taken away by proprietor for his personal use. Again, this can be a 2-marker. He'll ask either capital or drawing for 2 marks. What is capital? Right, simple 2 lines. Capital is the amount invested by the proprietor at the time of commencement of the business. Okay, capital is the amount invested by proprietor at the time of starting a business. And what is drawings? Drawings are any amount or any goods taken away by proprietor for his personal use. Right? So tell me, drawings, cash is going from the business to proprietor house. Cash is going from business to proprietor's pocket. And proprietor is an outsider, I told you. Like when he introduced cash, we write it on the debit side, no? जब बिजनेस में कैश इन्वेस्ट किया था तब हम लोग डेबिट साइड टू कैपिटल लिए. अभी प्रोपराइटर इज टेकिंग सम कैश फॉर हिज पर्सनल यूज, सो देयर इज एन आउटफ्लो ऑफ कैश. टेक इट ऑन द क्रेडिट साइड बाय drawings. How much? 300. Hope this is understood. Hope this drawing concept is understood. Drawing is the amount taken by proprietor for his personal use. Business में से cash जा रहा. Write it on the credit side. Treat it like a payment. Next is cash purchases. On 19, cash purchases. What does this transaction means? Cash purchases means purchase of goods for cash. Cash purchases doesn't mean that you are purchasing cash. It means purchase of goods done on cash. So tell me, is it a receipt or a payment? Yeah, it is a payment. Okay, when you purchase goods, you will make payment. There is an outflow of cash. So write it on the credit side. Write it on the credit side by purchases. By purchases. Amount is 5,000. Okay, amount is 5,000. Then sold goods to Naresh on credit. Sold goods to Naresh on credit. There is a transaction on 21st which says goods are sold to Naresh on credit. You remember I told you when we are preparing cash book, no credit transactions are recorded. No credit transactions are recorded. Ignore it. Ignore it. And write a note below the cash book. We'll write a note here. Note. Transaction. Dated. What was the date? Transaction 21 is not recorded. Simple, leave a note like this. Transaction dated 21 is not recorded. Why? Because it's a credit transaction. Then commission received. The business received commission. So there is a receipt inflow to commission. How much? Commission 800. To commission 800. Then paid to Sham. Paid obviously cash. You might have paid cash to Sham. So it's a payment. Write down by Sham. By Sham. How much? It is 3,500. 3,500. Then received rent. Received is an income. Received is an inflow. Write it on the debit side. To rent account. How much? 1,200. Sorry. So this is how the cash book recording is done. We have recorded all the transactions in our cash book. Now, if you remember, what is the last thing in ledger? Yes, it is balancing the ledger, no? So here also we have to balance the cash book. Okay. Remember one important point. I'll make right here. Note. Credit transactions are not recorded in cash book. Credit transactions are not recorded in cash book. And second, cash or cash column always shows debit balance only. Debit balance only. Right? Amount column. In short, if I want to write in simple column cash book, the amount column will always show debit balance. Okay. So we don't have to see when we are preparing cash book, no? Simple cash book, cash column. Always we can start. The debit side heavy rahenga. Because as I said, I made a statement, no? Cash book always shows debit balance. So always it will be heavy on the debit side. So see the total 25. How much it is? 25, 26. It is 27,000 on the debit side. 25, 26, 27. 26,000 total on the debit side. Write the same total on the credit side. Now we'll do balancing. We'll do balancing. How do we do the balancing? Which side is heavy? Debit side is heavy. What is the total on debit side? 27,000. Hope you are following this. While balancing cash book, always debit side will be heavy. Take the total of debit side on debit side as well as on the credit side. Now you sum up this. What is the total of all these transactions on the credit side? What is the total? 238 444797 127 13,200. See if I am right. 38444797 127 13,200. Okay. So the total on the credit side is how much? 13,200. 13,200. This was 27. This is 13,200. Subtract 27,000 में से 13,200 आप डिडक्ट कीजिए. Answer is 13,800. This 13,800 balancing figure will write on the deficit side. जिस side amount कम था वहां पे हम लिखेंगे last day of the month. On the last day of the month as by balance carried down 13,800. Okay, we'll write 13,800 on the deficit side. How did I do the balancing? You see, पहले हम लोग debit side total ले लिए, that was 27,000. फिर हम लोग credit side के सारे figures total करें. The total was 13,200. This we have subtracted from 27,000 and we arrived at 13,800. This is the balancing figure, or we can say that this is the closing cash balance. This is the closing cash balance. जो January में closing रहा, that will be the opening balance for February, no? To balance brought down 13,800. This closing balance for the month of January will become the opening balance for the month of February. Right? So when you write, see, remember, closing always carried down and opening always brought down. Opening always brought down. So we have completed one simple column cash book. This is the first problem of your simple cash book, page number 149. Our intention is actually to learn 3-column cash book, but then why I started simple column cash book? Because the same rule we will apply in 3-column cash book also. We apply the same debit and credit rule while preparing 3-column cash book. So it is always better that we should start with simple column cash book. It will be easy for you to grasp. It will be easy for you to understand. The same thing we can apply in 3-column cash book also. So going forward, I'll take one more simple column cash book. Okay. Let us take question number 2, page number 150, question number 2. So I am getting ready with the format. Hope you all are ready with your textbooks. So what are we preparing? We are preparing simple column cash book again in the books of Praveen Traders. In the books of Praveen Traders, we are preparing simple column cash book. Okay. Left hand side is debit side. Right hand side is credit side. Date, particulars, LF, cash. Or you can write amount also. Date, particulars, LF, amount. Okay, ready with the format? Shall we? See what is the first transaction? Page number 150. I said page number 150. Question number 2. 2019 April 1 cash balance. That is the opening balance. In the last problem we did, it was given as business commence with. So we wrote 2 capital. But here it is given as cash balance. So we should take it as opening balance to balance brought down. That is the opening cash balance. How much it is? It is 12,000. So write 12,000. Cash always shows debit balance. Take it on the debit side. Next, purchase goods for cash. On second, we purchase goods for cash. That is, we made some purchases and there is an outflow of cash. Cash is going from the business. So write it on the credit side. Buy purchases. Buy purchases. How much? It is 3,000. Buy purchases, it is 3,000. Then purchase furniture. We are purchasing furniture. So we are getting furniture. Business is getting furniture and making a payment. So again, it is a payment. So write it on the credit side. Buy furniture. How much? Buy furniture. 10,000. Buy furniture. 10,000. The date is 4. When we are preparing cash book, we see from this aspect how cash is affected. If there is an inflow, take it on the debit side. If there is an outflow, take it on the credit side. How cash is affected, that is our concern when we are preparing a cash book. Then 8. Cash received from Ajay. Business is receiving cash from Ajay. So write down, it's an inflow, no? It's a receipt. To Ajay, how much? It is 5,500. 5,500. Next, telephone bills. On 12, it is given as telephone bills. What do you understand? Obviously, it means payment of telephone bill. It's a outflow. So buy telephone bills. What is the amount? The amount is 600. Telephone bill amount is 600. It is a payment. Next, sold goods to Nikhil. Sold goods to Nikhil. We will not take this entry. Sir, why? Sold goods to Nikhil. When name of the party is given, it means it is a credit transaction. And as we know, we will not take credit transaction. Sir, how did you made out that it is a credit transaction? Remember, whenever name of the party is given, okay, whenever name of the party is given, simple name of the party is given, then it is a credit transaction and we will not take that transaction. Suppose it is given like this, there can be a twist. Like what is he given? He gave sold goods to Nikhil. Sold goods to Nikhil. So I said it is a credit transaction. I said it is a credit transaction. We don't take it. But suppose if it is given like this, sold goods to Nikhil for cash. If he specifies for cash, then it becomes a cash transaction. We have to take it. See the difference here. If it is only sold goods to Nikhil, we will not take. If it is sold goods to Nikhil for cash, then we will consider it as a cash transaction and then we take it in the cash book. So anyhow, in this case, we are not going to take and we are writing a note on that. We are writing a note for that. What? Transaction dated 14th April is not recorded. It is not recorded because it's a credit transaction. Next is interest paid. Is it an inflow or outflow? Interest paid is a outflow. By interest. By interest. How much? 300. 300. Next is purchase stationery. Again, this is also outflow, no? You purchase stationery, pen, paper, eraser, okay, or any other stationery item, stapler, all this. This fall under the general head, stationery. So there is a outflow, there is a payment by stationery. How much? 1200. 1200. Then again, cash sales. That is, cash sales means you sold goods for cash. You sold goods for cash. So goods are going away from business, cash is coming into the business. So it is an inflow. It's a receipt. Take it on the debit side. To sales. How much? 4,000. How much it is? 4,000. The date is 21. Then we have postages. On 25th, we purchase postages, stamp, envelope, something like this, or you send a parcel, something like that. So by postage, it is an outflow again. By postage, it is 400. Then paid to Tarun. Obviously, what do we pay? We paid cash. By Tarun. How much? 3,000. Paid to Tarun, 3,000. So we have recorded all the transactions successfully. Now we have to do balancing. I told you, no, cash book, simple column cash book always shows debit balance only. So let us see. See what is the total on the debit side? 17. 23,500 is the total on debit side. Sorry. It is 21. 21,000. 17 for 21,500. Write the same total here. 21,500. How do we do the balancing? Debit side total is 21,500 minus credit side. So see, take the sum up of all this. ये सब को add करो कितना रहा? 3 plus 10, 13, 13, 6, 13, 9, 14, 9, 15, 1, 15, 5, 18,500. What is the total? The total is 18,500. We have to subtract this. 3, 13, 6, 13, 9, 14, 9, 15, 1, 15, 5, 18, 5. Yeah, that's correct. So what is the difference amount? 0, 0, 0. 11 में से 8 गए तो 3,000. So the closing balance is how much? On the last day, on 30th April, we write by balance carried down 3,000. So 3,000 is the closing cash balance. The closing cash balance of April month will become the opening cash balance for the next month. That is 1st of May. 1st of May, it is to balance brought down. How much it is? 3,000. What do we call it here? 3,000 is the closing cash balance. Cash in hand on 30th April. The same will be the opening balance on 1st of May. We say balance of cash in hand on 1st of May is 3,000. Okay. So we are done with simple column cash book. We did it as a practice. We did it as a drill to go to our main topic, that is 3-column cash book. By the word itself, by the name itself, you can understand 3-column cash book, I said. 3-column cash book or triple column cash book means, apart from regular columns, see, this is called a single column cash book because we have one very imperative, very substantial column, which is cash column. 3-column cash book, likewise, will have 3 columns. Apart from the regular columns, 3 special columns will be there. That is why we call it as a 3-column cash book. So let us see how our 3-column cash book looks like and what is a very peculiar thing about writing a 3-column cash book. 3-column cash book, I'll start with the format itself. Then I'll explain you what it is. It is called as 3-column cash book, or we call it as triple column cash book. It again has debit side and credit side. Then again we have date, we have particulars, we have LF. Sir, what is new? You are writing the same things again. Okay. So this is our cash column. This is our bank column. This is our discount allowed column. Then on the credit side, we have date, particulars, again LF, cash, bank, and discount received column. Sir, when do we follow simple column cash book? When do we follow triple column cash book? It is up to the nature, up to the type of business you are doing, up to the type of transactions you are doing. Suppose you are not having a bank account, which normally these days we don't find any business organization having no bank account. But suppose if the business is not dealing in bank, they are doing only cash transactions. They take only cash. They make only payment in cash. They take receipts in cash. Then we prepare a simple column cash book, which I said these days is obsolete. We don't find any such organization. Even a small time vegetable vendor is having UPI. They are accepting payments on this Google Pay, Paytm, isn't it? So that is routed through bank only. So we cannot say that these days business or small business or petty business are not having a bank account. Obviously, they all are. So any business organization doing cash transaction, either in cash or through bank, will follow or will prepare a 3-column cash book. Okay. So who will prepare a 3-column cash book? A business organization having dealings in cash, and dealings through a bank. Accepting or making payments through bank, accepting and making payments in cash, they will follow or they will prepare a 3-column cash book. How do we prepare it? Again, we follow the same rule. If there is an inflow of cash, if there is an outflow of cash. Suppose there is an inflow of cash, we treat it as a receipt. If there is an outflow of cash, we treat it as a payment. कैश आ रहा रिसिप्ट, कैश जा रहा पेमेंट. अगर रिसिप्ट कैश में हुआ तो कैश कॉलम में, रिसिप्ट अगर चेक आया तो बैंक कॉलम में ऑन द डेबिट साइड. Okay. Similarly, if there is an outflow, if the payment is made in cash, hard currency, let us say, currency में payment हुआ, take it in the cash column. If you are making a payment through a check, take it in the bank column on the credit side. This is on the credit side. This is on the debit side. Isn't it? So, if I talk about this, suppose if I am receiving a cash, it is an inflow, I'll write it here. If I am making a cash payment, I'll write it here. If I am receiving any check, it happens, no? I sold goods to some party, they made payment in check. So if I am receiving a check, I'll write the transaction on the debit side, but the amount I'll write in bank column. Similarly, if I am making a payment, let us say I paid salaries by check, then I'll write here by salaries, amount I'll write in the bank column. Very simple. Same rule, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. If you are receiving cash, debit side cash column. If you are receiving check, debit side bank column. If you are making a payment in cash, credit side cash column. If you are making a payment in check, credit side bank column. Listen, right. Okay. So what is important when we write a 3-column cash book is, again, the thing what I'm explaining you has been asked many a times for 2 marks. See, normally in single column cash book, you have seen any transaction will appear either on the debit side or the credit side. Am I right? I repeat, any transaction, either it will appear on the debit side or it will appear on the credit side. In the last two problems, what I have solved here, did you see any transaction? Did you see any transaction appearing on both the debit side and credit side? Answer is no. There is no transaction which I have recorded both on the debit side and credit side. It doesn't happen like that. Either it will be a receipt or it will be a payment. A transaction cannot itself be, till now what you know, cannot be both a receipt and payment, except in two cases. I'll tell you. That happens only in 3-column cash. I am talking about an exception that happens in 3-column cash book. What is the exception I'm saying? Any transaction will either appear on the debit side or will appear on the credit side. In these problems, what I have solved, we have not seen any transaction appearing both on debit side or credit side. Isn't it? Because it will be either an inflow. If it is an inflow, write it on the receipt side, debit. And if it is an outflow, write it on the credit side. How can any transaction be both a receipt and payment? Well, there is an exception, I'll tell you. So now we are going to learn those exceptions, which are called as contra entries. Which are called as contra entries. Okay, now what are these with you? As I told you, a transaction will be either a receipt or a payment. If it is a receipt, cash balance will increase, we take it on the debit side. If it is a payment, cash balance will decrease, we take it on the credit side. But there is, like say example, I am having 100 rupees in my trousers pocket, or say I have two pockets. On my left pocket, in my left pocket, I am having 100 rupees. I take this 100 rupees from my left pocket and keep it in my right pocket. I have taken 100 rupees from my left pocket. I put those 200 rupees in my right pocket. Tell me, is the cash balance, is there an increase or decrease in cash balance? Answer is, there is no effect. Isn't it? There is no effect. So similarly, suppose while writing 3-column cash book, if suppose I happen to come across a transaction, cash paid into bank. Now, if I am having cash in my office, if I am having cash in my bank balance, is it not one and the same? Is it not one and the same? Suppose I have 10,000 cash. From my office cash box, I have deposited that amount into my bank account. So cash is going only from my office to my bank account. Is there any effect on my cash balance? Right? As such, there is no effect. So one such entry, cash paid into bank, and similarly, cash withdrawn from bank. Here also, there will not be any effect on our balance. Position, let us say. Cash balance and bank balance are one and the same here. So there won't be any effect. Cash paid into bank and cash withdrawn from bank. These two transactions are called as, they are recorded as contra entries. They are recorded as contra entry. Sir, what is a contra entry? What is a contra entry? See, any entry, as I told you, will appear either on the debit side of cash book or credit side of cash book. But these two transactions, which are called as contra entries, will appear both on the debit side and credit side of 3-column cash book. Contra entry is one bit asked most of the times in your IP exam. What is a contra entry? So you write simple 3 lines. Contra entry is 1. which is recorded on both the debit side and credit side of 3-column cash book, because contra entry occurs only in cash book, 3-column cash book. Sorry, contra entry occurs only in 3-column cash book. I repeat, what is a contra entry? Contra entry is one which appears both on the debit side and credit side of a 3-column cash book. Example, cash paid into bank and cash withdrawn from bank. These two are contra entries. Okay. Well, come back to the format of 3-column cash book. As I said, if we are receiving cash, we'll write in the cash column. If you are receiving check, we'll write in the bank column. If you are making any cash payment, write in the cash column. If you are making any payment through check, write it on the credit side, bank column. Okay, then in this cash column, bank column, and discount allowed column. Discount allowed is an expense taken on the debit side. Discount received is a income taken on the credit side. So let us talk about these 3 columns. At the end of the month, after all the transactions are recorded, as I said, balancing will be done at the end of the month. Cash column, bank column, and discount column. These are the 3 columns now. In our 3-column cash book, we have cash column, bank column, discount column. We do the balancing of cash column. Sir, do we do the balancing of bank column? Yes, we do the balancing of bank column. Sir, do we do the balancing for discount column? Answer is we will not balance discount column. Sir, when we are balancing cash column, when we are balancing bank column, why are we not balancing discount column? Answer is very simple. Balancing is done only for personal accounts and real accounts. Nominal accounts are never balanced. Nominal accounts की balancing नहीं होती. Balance किसका करते हैं हम लोग? सिर्फ personal accounts और real accounts का. So no, discount account is a nominal column. Discount account is a nominal account. So we do not do the balancing for discount account. So what do we do? That we'll see when we are solving the problems. Remember, cash column balancing is done. Answer is yes. Bank column balancing is done. Answer is yes. Discount column balancing is done. Answer is a big no. Then cash column will always show debit balance only. Cash column will always show debit balance only. Bank column can show either debit balance or credit balance. I repeat, cash column will always show debit balance only. In 3-column cash book, cash column will always be heavy on the debit side only. Bank column can be heavy on the debit side or credit side. If debit side is heavy, we say that it is a favorable balance. That is, the business house, the firm is having balance with bank. But if it is showing credit balance, we call it as a unfavorable balance. It is a unfavorable balance, or we call it as overdraft. We call it what? Overdraft. I repeat, cash column will always show debit balance only. Bank column can show either a debit balance or a credit balance. If it is debit balance, it means that the business is having balance with bank. It's a positive thing. It's a good thing. But if the Bank column is showing credit balance. It means the business owes to the bank. The business has overdrawn from the bank. It is called as overdraft. And this overdraft is also a 2 marker. Take a note of this. We'll get for 2 marks. What is an overdraft? And of course, discount column, as I said, we don't do balancing. Okay. Now that we have covered the concept of 3-column cash book, tomorrow we'll take up questions on this. And please, all of you, be ready with your textbooks and notebooks. Tomorrow we are going to learn a very, very wonderful topic. You really will enjoy learning this, and at the same time, it will fetch you 10 marks. It's a good chunk of marks. Okay, then you please do practice whatever we have done in the session today. Don't waste time. Take care.